The CEO extended an invitation for lunch, a seemingly warm gesture that soon revealed a more somber purpose, to part ways with me and usher in the owner's nephew as my successor. They were unaware. The CEO asked me to join for lunch, a moment that felt charged with anticipation, only to reveal that we would be taking a different path. Having nurtured the tech division from its very inception, I found myself stepping aside for the owner's nephew. Such moments unfold, I responded with a gentle smile. No one understood that I had sensed it approaching for months. My name is Joseph, and at 42, I have dedicated the past 11 years to being the heart of Riverton Manufacturing's IT infrastructure. You might not sense it from our company website or quarterly reports. I crafted our network security from the very beginning, back when we relied on Windows XP and kept our passwords on sticky notes. Transformed a small team of 5 into a thriving operation of 30, ensuring that 3 production facilities flowed seamlessly, day and night. The rhythm of Milwaukee pulses on, and I find myself swept along with it. I never intended to linger in that moment for so long. I accepted the job as a temporary refuge after my divorce, a way to occupy my mind as I navigated the uncertain path ahead. Yet, I excelled at it, truly excelled. And somewhere along the way, those servers and networks intertwined with my essence, not in a legal sense, but in every way that truly counted. The lunch unfolded at Maxwell's, an establishment adorned with crisp white tablecloths, a setting where executives bring clients they wish to enchant. This wasn't the sort of environment where dismissals occurred, yet Marcus Campbell, our CEO, always prioritized how things looked. "Joseph, your presence has meant so much," he said, savoring each bite of his steak. "Yet, we crave new insights, an individual who can see the unfolding journey of technology. In essence, we've discovered a more affordable option that will not resist when the board makes questionable choices." Carter's nephew has just completed his master's at MIT, a truly remarkable young man, with a focus on the captivating world of digital transformation. I nodded softly, allowing the cool water to glide over my lips. "Who is guiding the shift?" Marcus appeared to relax, grateful that I was keeping my composure. "You will have a span of 6 weeks. We will share the news following the quarterly all-hands meeting." I signed the NDA he presented before dessert graced the table, offering a smile as I shook his hand, acknowledging the necessity of business choices that must be embraced. Returning to my desk, I realized my admin credentials had quietly slipped away, leaving a lingering sense of loss. I had been taken off the leadership team email chain. It was a choice made long before the midday meal, perhaps even weeks in advance. That night, rest eluded me, not from anger, even if it lingered in the air. Not from a place of anxiety about seeking new opportunities. Yet, it was the observations I had made in the server logs 3 months prior that lingered in my mind. Subtle, uninvited touches from an IP address I traced back to the executive floor. There's an intruder, exploring realms that should remain untouched, delving into my carefully crafted documentation, my protective measures, my plans for unforeseen circumstances. They were not merely filling my absence. They sought to uncover every secret I held within me, delving deep into my thoughts and feelings. 16 years ago, I found myself in Milwaukee, drawn by the love I shared with Ellie after we exchanged our vows. She stepped away from a stable security position in Minneapolis, drawn by the promise of graduate school here. In our youth, we were filled with dreams and aspirations. I believed there was something waiting to be discovered. The divorce caught me off guard. 7 years of weaving a shared existence, and then, unexpectedly, documents lay on the kitchen counter. "Our desires are not aligned," she said. Everything felt calm, without any hints of trouble. "It's finally over." When Riverton welcomed me aboard, I found myself resting on my brother's couch. They sought a skilled hand to mend the delicate threads of their network, frayed and vulnerable after the shadows of a ransomware attack. I thought my time here would be fleeting, yet I glimpsed something beautiful waiting to unfold. The individuals in manufacturing possessed a deep understanding of machines, yet their knowledge of computers was limited. Their entire operation, with millions invested in equipment and hundreds of livelihoods at stake, was teetering on the edge, reliant on outdated systems, one crash away from an unforeseen calamity. I presented Marcus with a vision for a transformative 5-year journey. He entrusted me with the budget, allowing me the freedom to explore my creativity. For 3 years, I lingered in shadows, untouched by the warmth of the sun, reimagined every connection. Skilled personnel. Crafted layers of protection and assurance. As the Northeast blackout unfolded, we remained a beacon of resilience, the sole facility in the region that continued to shine brightly. The board became aware. Marcus began inviting me to join him at meetings. My budget has expanded significantly. I brought together a remarkable team, including Elise, who quickly became my trusted ally, and Raphael, whose coding skills could navigate any challenge with ease. We had transcended the realm of mere technology. We were the heartbeat of Riverton, ensuring that clients could always trust in our unwavering commitment to meet every deadline. At the company Christmas party in 2019, Carter Wells, the majority owner, took my hand in a firm yet warm gesture. "You've transformed us into something extraordinary," he said. "Your systems have been essential to our growth." I believed I had discovered a space where I truly belonged, a realm where my presence held significance. The initial fracture emerged last September, a consultant arriving unexpectedly to assess our digital landscape. He inquired about the fundamental aspects of the systems I had crafted with my own hands. When I inquired about who had given the green light for the audit, he referred to the executive team and gracefully shifted the conversation elsewhere. Then the connection to the board meeting minutes faded away from the shared drive. The message spoke of a necessary refresh, a moment to restore and rejuvenate. In December, Marcus began to forego our weekly briefings, each time offering a plausible reason that lingered in the air. During the New Year leadership retreat, I caught a glimpse of Carter sharing heartfelt words about his nephew's graduation. He spoke of his brilliance with computers, a spark of admiration in his voice. Silicon Valley companies vying for his attention. I barely gave it a second thought. It could have been. The last indication arrived when Elise shared with me the news of a meeting she had been invited to, a strategic planning session that I was meant to lead. As she spoke my name, a subtle shift occurred in Marcus, diverting the conversation elsewhere. "There was an unsettling sensation," she confessed. "As if everything was orchestrated with you in mind." I let it slip away. "Devoted to an unwavering degree," my former partner often remarked. 2 days after our lunch, I found myself in the server room at 7 p.m., the quiet enveloping me as the world outside had mostly faded away. The gentle murmur of machinery has always brought me a sense of peace. The rows of servers, the gentle glow of blinking lights, the soothing hum of cooling systems. I had chosen each element with care, crafted the layers of assurance. This was my sanctuary. I let my fingers glide over the surface of the main console, a decade of my existence concealed within these walls. "Staying late at the office, are we?" I turned to discover Adrian Blake, Carter's nephew, framed in the doorway. Polished appearance, luxurious timepiece, effortless charm. He seemed to be in the prime of his life, perhaps around 30. "It was merely a matter of routine," I replied softly. "Is there something you desire?" Exploring the nuances of the surroundings. He entered with an air of confidence, as if the space was a part of him. "Marcus hinted that you would be guiding me through soon." Did he truly? Adrian immersed himself in the intricacies of the server configuration. A captivating arrangement, reminiscent of a bygone era, yet undeniably sturdy. Timeless elegance. I enhanced these systems 8 months ago. Your documentation is wonderfully detailed, he continued. I've been exploring your protocols. I have a few thoughts on how we can embrace a more contemporary approach. He spoke as if he were granting me a kindness, eagerly anticipating their words. The words lingered on the tongue, dry and uninviting. Once he departed, I settled into my workstation, enveloped in a quiet moment of reflection, gazed upon the access logs. Adrian's credentials had been established 3 weeks prior to my lunch with Marcus. He had been granted the highest level of administrator access. I have explored every corner of my documentation library. I reached for my phone and sent a message to Raphael. Would you be able to meet tomorrow morning before work? Coffee at Joe's, 6:30, where the warmth of the moment awaits. That evening, I found my way to the lakefront, stopping at the spot where Ellie and I would sit together, lost in the beauty of the setting sun. The water lay dark beneath the winter sky, a canvas of deep hues reflecting the chill of the air. I reminisced about the moment when Marcus elevated me to the role of director. He had whispered that you were the very essence of this place. Your presence is essential to our journey. It seems that even the strongest supports can be exchanged. Raphael was waiting for me at the coffee shop when I arrived the next morning, shadows lingering beneath his eyes. He sensed an unsettling shift in the air. They're gradually letting me go, I said, my voice steady yet heavy with unspoken feelings. He nodded with a gentle understanding. I sensed they were posing unusual inquiries, prompting me to elaborate on your systems. When will our paths intertwine once more? It's been a couple of weeks now. He gazed into his coffee, lost in thought. I regret not sharing this with you sooner. I held no resentment towards him. Raphael was a devoted father, navigating the responsibilities of family life and the weight of a mortgage. What do you envision? He inquired softly. I hadn't recognized it until he inquired, but as I sat there, observing the early morning commuters rush by the window, a sense of calm enveloped me. A sense of clarity washed over me, one I hadn't experienced since the moment I discovered Ellie's divorce papers. They believe all the answers lie within the pages, I murmured softly. Yet, deep down, we understand the truth of the matter. Raphael leaned in closer. The unique instruments, the creative solutions. I gave a soft nod. The creations I've crafted that remain uncharted in any guide. The personalized observation system. The client interface that remains a mystery to others. Joseph, I promise I won't undermine anything, I assured him. Yet, I won't relinquish what belongs to me. Raphael gazed at me for a moment, then gave a subtle nod. He felt it deeply. I expressed my desire for copies of everything I created myself. I seek to understand who remains steadfast. The official announcement was revealed during the all-hands meeting the next week, enveloping the room in a palpable sense of anticipation. Marcus stood at the podium, his voice rich with passion as he spoke of thrilling transitions and new horizons waiting to be explored. Adrian lingered nearby, his smile warm and inviting at just the right moments. Joseph has played a vital role in shaping our IT infrastructure, Marcus remarked, his gaze averted from mine. We deeply appreciate his contributions as he guides us through this transition to Adrian's leadership in the coming 6 weeks. Soft whispers flowed gently through the space. The expressions on the faces of the IT team were filled with disbelief. Elisa's gaze met mine from across the room, a wordless inquiry lingering in the air. I offered her the faintest of nods. Following the meeting, I sought a moment to connect with Marcus and HR. I highlighted that many of the systems Adrian would be assuming were crafted by me, during my personal time, utilizing my own development framework. The employment contract is clear, Grace from HR said, her voice smooth as she slid the document across the table. All creations born from your time here belong to the company. Not everything, I gently replied. The system sync interface was created prior to my arrival at Riverton. I granted the company a license, yet I held on to ownership. It's clearly outlined in the original agreement. Marcus moved restlessly, a subtle tension in the air. It feels like a lifetime has passed, Joseph. The company has transformed. The system has synchronized. Each enhancement, each connection was crafted from the essence of my original creation. I leaned in closer. I don't mean to create any challenges. I seek fair recognition and reward for the creativity and effort I have poured into my intellectual property. Marcus and Grace shared a lingering look, their eyes conveying unspoken feelings. We'll explore it together, Marcus said at last. In the meantime, let your attention gently shift towards the transition with Adrian. I recognized that gaze. They lingered in the moment. The following morning, I found my access to the development servers unexpectedly limited. Please review the automated email regarding the security protocol for transition periods. Adrian organized a team meeting, and I found myself on the outside, uninvited. When I arrived despite everything, he appeared slightly put out, but he masked it swiftly. Joseph, it's wonderful to have you with us. I was gently sketching out some adjustments to the network architecture. I rested against the doorframe, feeling the warmth of the moment envelop me. Intriguing. Which design captivates your interest? He spoke with a quiet assurance about the primary systems on the production floor. We will refine the processes. Those protocols ensure that machines remain steadfast even in moments of intense demand, I replied with a calm assurance. They are uniquely crafted to complement our equipment. Adrian's smile grew more restrained. Contemporary systems embrace simplicity, eliminating the need for intricate solutions. They're not mere solutions, Elise interjected. These are essential adjustments tailored to our unique framework. Joseph crafted them in the wake of the 2018 setback. The atmosphere became thick with unspoken words. Adrian's confidence flickered for a brief moment then. I value the insights from the past, yet we are embracing a new path towards simplicity and efficiency. He turned to the whiteboard, subtly signaling his disinterest in our connection. As the day unfolded, an email from legal found its way to my inbox. The company confidently claimed complete ownership of all systems, including System Sync, referencing a clause that indicated integrated technologies would become the property of the company. They presented me with a technology acquisition bonus of $5,000. The true sense of betrayal unfolded the following day. I found out that Adrian had arranged individual meetings with each of my team members, not just transition talks, but comprehensive job evaluations. He was contemplating whom to cherish. Raphael reached out to me afterward. He inquired whether your systems were truly essential or merely intricate, seeking a hint of disapproval. That evening, I discovered a message from one of our suppliers nestled in my personal inbox. They felt a sense of uncertainty regarding the new licensing agreement that Riverton had shared, one that was unfamiliar to me. I gently opened the document. Marcus had finalized an agreement that handed over all my unique supplier integrations to a third-party vendor, a startup founded by Adrian's former classmate. They were gently guiding me away. They were taking apart the very essence of what I had created and letting it slip away. As I reached out to the backup servers in hopes of reclaiming my original code, a wave of disappointment washed over me when I discovered that my credentials had been completely revoked. The moment has arrived. I sought a way to gain an advantage, and I felt the urgency pressing upon me. Riverton had been more than just careless. They had been pondering deeply. The sequence of events was unfolding beautifully. Adrian had entered my world months ago, delving into my systems, readying himself to take my place while gently unraveling the depths of my knowledge. That evening, I found myself reaching out to Tyler Phillips, a network security specialist with whom I had shared moments in the past. Our paths crossed at a quaint diner just off the highway, a hidden gem that someone like Marcus would never dream of visiting. "You're in a challenging position," Tyler said, his voice laced with concern after I shared my predicament. "Yet, there lingers a sense that not everything aligns. What compels me to let you go at this moment? The company is thriving beautifully. I find myself at a loss," I confessed. "Allow me to explore," he suggested, simply seeking to understand, nothing overstepping. 2 days later, as the clock struck 11 p.m., Tyler's voice found its way to me through the phone. "This is something you truly must experience." He had discovered SEC filings revealing that Riverton was on the brink of a transformative acquisition. TechCore Industries, a manufacturing conglomerate from Boston, was deeply engaged in final discussions to acquire them. The agreement hinged on Riverton showcasing its updated technical framework and a guiding leadership during the transition. Tyler shared that they are tidying up to enhance the appeal of the sale. "Your systems truly captivate and draw people in. The assessment highlights the unique management interface for manufacturing. My connection, a harmonious blend." Tyler's voice lingered in the air, hinting at untold depths. "Carter Wells gracefully withdrew a significant portion of his shares last quarter. The acquisition would primarily serve the interests of Marcus and the executive team, creating a deeper connection to their aspirations. They receive lavish rewards and prestigious roles at TechCore." The moment that shattered me wasn't the acquisition. It was the discovery of emails revealing that Marcus and Carter had contemplated my replacement more than 6 months prior. As I immersed myself in the depths of the night, tirelessly working to mend a significant security breach, they were engaged in conversation with Adrian. I made my way to the old industrial park, the very place where the first whispers of the system sync architecture danced in my mind, a time when it was merely a fleeting thought. As I lingered in my car until the first light of dawn, I observed the sky softly shifting to gray above the silent, forgotten warehouses. Upon returning home, I stumbled upon an old external hard drive tucked away in my closet. As I connected it, a wave of anticipation washed over me, and I discovered exactly what I had been seeking. The initial synchronization code, before Riverton. The records reveal that I embarked on my development journey 8 months prior to becoming part of the company. I discovered the emails as well. Marcus has expressed a desire for me to weave together the system sync with Riverton systems, his recognition of it as my unique creation. His assurance that we would define our bond once the chaos subsided. I had placed my trust in him. Deceive me. The following day, Adrian invited me to a meeting with Marcus and Grace from HR. "We're hastening the journey," Marcus said, his voice steady and inviting. "Your final day will be next Friday." "Just 2 weeks, rather than 6, I observed. "Is there a special reason behind it?" "Adrian has shown remarkable talent," Grace remarked with a soft confidence. "And honestly, Joseph, your demeanor hasn't really fostered a seamless transition." I responded with a gentle nod. "I understand." Adrian gently reminded us that all documentation and training should be completed by Wednesday. "Certainly," I responded, my voice calm and assured. "What about the ownership of System Sync? Have you found a moment to reflect on the original agreements?" Marcus's expression deepened with intensity. "Our legal team has concluded that all integrated systems are embraced by the essence of company ownership. The separation package is quite generous, Joseph. I encourage you to embrace it." I rose to my feet. "I will have my attorney examine all the details." Marcus's voice carried a gentle urgency, urging the moment to remain uncomplicated. "The result remains unchanged." As I stepped outside, I sent a message to Raphael. "Tonight, we embrace an alternative path." After 7 hours, Raphael met me in the dim light of the grocery store parking lot, his hand extending towards me with a flash drive, a silent promise lingering in the air between us. All that you desired, he murmured softly. Original code bases, deployment logs, authentication keys, all intertwined in a delicate dance of technology and trust. I expressed my gratitude, then inquired softly, "What compels you to assist me?" He gazed deeply into my eyes. "They believe that we can all be easily substituted." I devoted the weekend to capturing every detail with care and intention. The initial system synchronization code, the correspondence with Marcus, the licensing agreements, the timestamps confirming my development of the core technology prior to Riverton. On that Monday morning, I arrived early to find Elise at her desk, her weariness evident in her expression. "Have you heard about the accelerated timeline?" she inquired softly. I gave a gentle nod. "How is the team feeling about it?" "I'm feeling a bit off." Adrian gathered everyone for urgent planning sessions throughout the weekend. "I attempted to unravel the intricacies of your monitoring system." She softened her voice. "The experience was less than favorable. 3 signals from the production floor went unnoticed." "Is everyone okay?" "No, but they had to pause line 3 for 4 hours, incurring a cost of around $40,000 and experiencing a loss in production." I maintained a calm demeanor. "I'm truly sorry to hear that." "Joseph," she paused, her breath catching in the air. "I believe it's my turn now. Adrian has been inquiring about the importance of my role." I had a feeling it would be like this. Elise possessed an intimate understanding of the underlying truths that governed their world. "Do you believe in me?" I inquired softly. She moved forward with unwavering confidence. "Entirely." I gently pushed a sealed envelope across her desk. "If something unexpected occurs this week, please take a moment to read this. It unveils the depths of understanding." That afternoon, I engaged with 3 distinct patent attorneys, investing in expedited fees to secure provisional patents on essential elements of System Sync. Only the essential elements that allowed it to harmonize with the manufacturing equipment. On Tuesday, I fulfilled all the transition documentation Adrian needed, participated in his planning meeting, and responded to questions with grace. The ideal team member. In the meantime, Tyler was assisting me in establishing a secure server away from our usual space. As the clock struck midnight, I found myself enveloped in the quiet satisfaction of having moved all my original code to its new home, developed a self-sufficient version of System Sync that operates independently from Riverton's infrastructure. On Wednesday morning, I discovered an email from TechCorp Industries waiting in my personal account. A warm invitation to explore shared business passions at their regional office. They had caught wind of my departure from Riverton and were drawn to the allure of my knowledge. There was a sense of uncertainty in the air, a delicate dance of choices being made. I sent the email to my lawyer, then reached out to the VP of Operations at TechCorp. I proposed that we come together after my formal farewell from Riverton. He responded without hesitation. That evening, I embraced the pivotal moment of my design. With the access credentials Raphael had entrusted to me, I tenderly updated 3 vital components of the System Sync. I incorporated a digital signature verification process to ensure that the code remains untouched by unauthorized hands. I adjusted the license to conclude in precisely 8 days, just after my official farewell. I crafted a smooth and legitimate journey forward. The system would gracefully persist, enveloped in the warmth of a well-crafted licensing agreement. Only gentle whispers of connection. There is no ill intent. Simply safeguarding what belonged to me. On Thursday, Adrian drew me into his office. "Some of the team members have noticed a change in your behavior," he said. "Is there something I should be aware of?" With a gentle determination, I responded, concentrating on bringing everything to a close. He observed me, a hint of doubt in his gaze. "Tomorrow, after your departure, we will be transforming all system passwords and access credentials. Routine practice. It resonates with me, I replied, while it may not alter the essential harmony of system synchronization. What does it signify? The system is crafted to function seamlessly, unaffected by any shifts in administration. That's the allure of it. I could sense his hesitation, weighing whether I posed a challenge or was simply sharing knowledge. He made a choice that led him astray. He gently waved me away, a soft finality in his voice. Legal will connect with you tomorrow to finalize the paperwork. As I stepped out, Marcus brushed past me in the hallway. A subtle inclination of the head, 11 years distilled into a single moment. As the clock struck midnight, a delicate harmony enveloped the scene, each detail perfectly aligned. I composed a final message to my private server, a lingering thought that held a weight of significance. Verification sequence Alpha 7 has been beautifully completed. The anticipation was palpable. On Friday morning, I handed over my badge, completed the exit paperwork, and gently declined the celebration lunch that Adrian had arranged, much to Marcus's noticeable relief. As I strolled towards my car, I received a call from Raphael. "It is complete," he murmured. "Adrian has just altered all the admin passwords. This afternoon, they will be conducting a comprehensive system review." "Thank you for sharing that with me," I replied, my tone steady and calm. "What unfolds next?" he inquired softly. In this moment, we embraced the stillness of anticipation. I embraced the weekend in the comfort of my home. Calls from unfamiliar numbers went unanswered. I experienced a night of rest that felt more rejuvenating than I have in a long time. On a Monday morning at 9:17 a.m., as the production floor transitioned into its vibrant peak, a harmonious message resonated across the system's sinks of Riverton's 3 facilities, uniting them in a moment of shared purpose. "The license has reached its expiration. Kindly reach out to the developer for renewal." At 9:20, the first production line came to a gentle stop. By 9:45, all 3 facilities had gracefully slipped into silence. At 10:30, I received a personal call from Marcus. "What on earth have you done?" He attempted to project confidence, yet I could sense the underlying tremor of anxiety. I simply responded with a sense of tranquility, "I didn't do anything. The software license has reached its expiration. As the creator and steward of System Sync, I would be delighted to explore the possibilities of renewal terms with you." "This is betrayal," he whispered, his voice laced with tension. "It's a matter of standard license management," I gently clarified. "Review the original integration agreement from 11 years past. Clause 7 clearly indicates that Riverton was engaging in a licensing agreement for the technology, rather than acquiring it outright." Stillness envelopes the connection. "I have forwarded a comprehensive licensing agreement to your legal department," I continued. "The conditions are straightforward. Acknowledgement of my rightful claim, fair remuneration for ongoing utilization, and a commitment to confidentiality regarding the details of my exit." "That feels like a violation of trust." "That's just how it is in the world of business," I responded. "Such moments unfold in life." As the clock struck 3 p.m., their lawyers had carefully examined my documentation. As the clock struck 5 p.m., the agreement was beautifully sealed with a signature. 3 days later, I found myself seated opposite the Vice President of Operations at TechCorp, enveloped in the ambience of their downtown office. He gently pushed a contract across the table, the air thick with unspoken words. "We are still in the process of acquiring Riverton," he expressed. "We would love for you to take the lead on the technical integration. In the role of a consultant, rather than that of an employee. The compensation was double what Riverton had offered me, complete freedom to choose when and where I work." "What are your thoughts on Adrian?" I inquired. The VP's expression shifted subtly, hinting at an underlying tension. "Mr. Blake will be moving on to explore new horizons. That afternoon, I put my signature on the contract. 2 weeks later, Raphael reached out to share the news that Adrian had been gently let go from his role. The narrative presented was that he had sought out new paths. The underlying truth was that 3 significant clients had expressed their intention to withdraw their contracts following a series of persistent system failures. Marcus held the title of CEO during the acquisition, yet his presence at TechCorp became more symbolic than influential. There is a lack of genuine strength. There is a lack of genuine connection among the members. Merely a polished title and a distance from those who shape the choices. I found myself lacking the sense of relief I had anticipated. There was a gentle assurance within me, a soft recognition that I had taken the steps that felt right. The next month, I took my first consulting check and poured my dreams into a down payment on a quaint cabin by the serene lake. A simple, serene spot with a deck that gazes out over the gentle water. A place where I could witness the sun gracefully dip below the horizon and then rise anew, filling the sky with warmth and light. 3 months later, Elise became a part of my consulting team, followed by Raphael. In time, many from my former department found themselves alongside me, sharing in the journey rather than simply following my lead. Allies in a flourishing venture. It was a year after everything unfolded when I unexpectedly crossed paths with Marcus at a cozy restaurant downtown. He began to turn away, but then hesitated. Approached my table with a quiet allure. "You have triumphed," he said softly. My gaze lingered on him. Truly gazed. The tension in his gaze, the subtly disheveled suit. He had transformed with time. It transcended the notion of victory, I responded, with sincerity in my voice. It was about significance, understanding your true value. He offered a subtle nod, then turned and drifted away. I lingered in that moment, captivated by the way the city lights began to twinkle across the river, each one a soft whisper in the evening air, contemplating the intricate connections that weave through our experiences. The connections we forge, the ones we shatter, and those that endure beyond our time.